Do you remember when Teemo had entire WildRift on lockdown in mid lane? Then how about bringing this one back? And here we have the promised like King of WildRift on Teemo in the mid lane. So what makes this pick so strong? What makes it so annoying to deal with? And everything you need to know to play this champion to a proper level. So Teemo is one of these champions that level 1 have the craziest damage possible. Because compared to the PC variant, you have your third ability on PC, which is the Poison Dart, on your passive. So you basically start with 2 abilities level 1. Not only this, because WildRift players suffer with one problem. The most common problem within WildRift is object permanence, or rather subject permanence, because we're talking about players. So, if a Teemo has a stealth, he might just leave mid lane, and if that happens, you will die, because people barely pay attention to the map at all in WildRift, which makes Teemo such a beautiful, cheesy pick. It's similar to Cannon in the mid lane, where just people don't pay attention, just get killed level 5, but Teemo is one of these champions that just goes close to you in stealth and shoots you, and there's not much you can do about this because of the high damage. There's one thing that makes life substantially easier though is having access to mercs. However, mages don't really have access to these boots, because if they go for them, you have a massive, diminish in power, because it's so much power comes from your boots because they have mana regen, they have pen, they have a bunch of AP, and if you have to drop these, you're actively losing so much value. But in some instances against certain champions, you really need to think about that one. For example, if you're playing against an Annie, you have to debate going for that one. But you see, he's super aggressive when he trades, but Zyra is, like, theoretically speaking, pretty good into Teemo because of Zyra's high burst damage. If this champion wasn't so buggy though about the interactions, but here you see one certain play, going close in stealth, waiting. Okay, this is very, very important, okay? This is very, very important. Okay, he leaves here, goes back out of vision right now, and then he approaches from stealth. Zyra thinks that Teemo is number 1 maybe picking up fruit, number 2 maybe he went base, so what is the Zyra gonna do? Her options are either going base on a push into herself, which would be the optimal call right now if she believes she is in potential danger of dying. But what she's doing right now is clearing the wave, utilizing cooldowns. You see cooldown being used, the root is being thrown out. Now the Teemo approaches, tumbles in, and goes for a quick kill. That is the perfect way to do it. You want to wait for the enemy's cooldowns to be used because they want to, for example, reset, and then you punish them instantly for it. That is an absolute perfect showcase of how it's supposed to be done. Now we see Xin Zhao in the bottom part here. Let me open up my epic pen just so I have it here, so I can just add some visual aid to this one here as well. Okay. Picks up Prophet. This is insane damage, by the way. Prophet's Pendant, Boots of Mana. He is going to evaporate this Zyra if he gets close. Dev is running close. If Zyra got too close, she would have lost a big bunch of her HP. The next thing that's really important about Teemo is decent shroom placement. You have multiple ways of utilizing it, so let me pause the video for a second here. So as the game goes into the later stages and you have like these sidewave issues, what Teemo can do, he can leave shrooms in a way that the incoming minion waves will be delayed and killed by these shrooms. This is exceptionally powerful once the inhibitor is, if the inhibitor is still alive, because the normal waves will be cleared relatively easily. The same thing applies to Jhin. Jhin can do the same thing, which makes Jhin very, versatile in that regard. Another thing that you can do, you can block off certain pathways or just certain access points with these shrooms and deal a bucket load of damage before a fight even starts. It's just very important to have these things on your mind, because it's just so easy to forget about these, and if the enemy isn't constantly keeping track, and don't forget about the object permanence thing, people forget really easily, it becomes super easy to just fall victim to that one. You see, Teemo has a super hard time reaching the Zyra. Zyra giga high damage, but this is one of the only things Zyra really provides is damage. I remember the Kraken Slayer bug, good times. But yeah, Teemo's D-push before level 5 is definitely not something that's very powerful. Nice room, Limao. Oh, -1. I'm too familiar with that one. I'm way too familiar with that one. He goes for the Omega Burst build. Okay. So what's he doing? He has sorted Pen completely. Now he's going for more damage. Because many of you don't really know, Lichbane has two modifiers. Number one, base AD as well as AP. It's pretty cool to have, plus movement speed. So Lichbane combines many things that Burst Teemo wants to have. Control ward being spotted. But yeah, enjoy. You see, this is the damage of a Xin Zhao being blinded. Being blinded, by the way. I hate this champion with a passion. Oh, nice trick here, by the way. Okay, you see the eyes on him? Like, let me highlight this. You see the eyes? The enemy is thinking he's recalling. Zara will go for a push, thinking Teemo might come from here. Now Teemo can do like loop around in stealth and maybe get her with a free kill from the side with Ignite and Poison, a full combo. So let's see if he actually does this, because it's a genuine possibility, because all that needs to happen is Zyra using a few spells. So he'll probably walk around the corner like in a few seconds when the stealth comes up. Cooldowns being used, stealth being popped, going around the corner, and now he just one-shots her, right? Exactly. And this is how you bait people. Beautiful, done by the Emilio saving him here as well. But this is how you can abuse people by simply using in-game mechanics. It's very easy to lose track on that one, and many people don't really understand or know the relative lethal range of a champion, especially if you're used to having resistances. Because let's say Zara has 33 magic resistance, Teemo reduces all of that one coming from stealth. And the differences between having like 30 magic resist and 0 is about taking 30% more damage. Which is quite insane if you consider how much damage Teemo actually has. Okay, we have a play at the Heralds. Herald is secured. Teemo looking for an opening. Doesn't overcommit. Still has a few seconds of stealth, which is a very important part. Teemo stealth, if moving, goes away. Like you see the bar going down. Or the circle. But if you stand still, you can maintain stealth. Indefinitely. Teemo Poison barely does damage to the plants. Oh man, this is a death sentence, yeah. You see, this is one of the things that you just cannot do, which is why it's so problematic playing Teemo. Like, he got really cocky. He's 4-0. He thinks, yeah, I can surely do this, but the issue is he's still playing against the Zyra, and generally mages from range. You see, she has 45 MR, 120 AP, and she will simply one-shot you. Hits the root, hits the binding, hits everything, one-shots you. That is how mages function in WildRift. This is just how it goes. And it looks like she will even go for Crown of the Shattered Queen. With Crown of the Shattered Queen, Teemo loses a lot of damage to her. Because Teemo's entire damage profile comes from auto attack, Q auto attack, as well as just proccing electrocute, but now he is losing one source of damage against the Zyra, which is completely denying this guerrilla gameplay. The bouncing shroom didn't work because the shroom was cleared, unfortunate. And if you pop the shield, they obviously get a damage mitigation. So not only do you lose a complete spell in terms of damage, you also provide them with a damage reduction for a brief moment. So Crown is a very powerful item to have against Teemo. It's also very, like, any champion that has like certain one-shot mechanics, it's just very powerful to have it against. Like against an Annie, you can also debate on many champions to just go Crown, even as your first item, you will completely butcher your damage, absolutely true, but it's a valid option to survive. Because if you don't run certain rune setups in full resolve, as well as certain itemization, other than just the first item, or first completed item, you'll be victim of Annie's flash combo every single time. I have another video of that one. I think I found a Chinese video showcasing that one as well, or maybe if I stream in the next few days. I need to fix my schedule for that one though. I can showcase it myself. How stupid Annie is. But yeah, it's definitely absolutely ill. But when it comes to your core gameplay loop, Teemo is more of an assassin than anything else. He has tools to set up like certain objectives, because entering objectives is very difficult, especially as the game progresses. Because these Teemo shrooms become more and more powerful. Let's say he gets to Liandry, there's also a unique interaction with Liandry. If you hit an enemy with your auto attack as Teemo, your poison will be applied for 4 seconds. However, Liandry's Torment debuff is being applied for 7 seconds because your passive auto attack is counted as an empowered auto attack, which therefore applies Liandry's to the target, and the passive is constantly reapplying Liandry. So after the 4th second of the dot, the last dot tick is going to apply Liandry for a full duration again. Will die to the normal dot as well, has to flash away from the Blitzcrank, and will probably play like guerrilla warfare tactics in the enemy jungle. Without Liandry's yet, he will not deal too much damage over time, but it's still going to be enough. He has to be really... I think he was spotted here. And Teemo's blind, like utilizing the blind is the most important part, because if you waste your blind, you lose your layer of defense. Yeah. And you see here, Zara didn't even have to do this because Teemo can't kill her. Teemo can't proc the Shattered Queen crown without investing either a Shroom, which the enemy has to walk into, or his first ability. So with that done, Zara couldn't potentially die. But when it comes to Teemo and generally laning, let's say for example in the top lane department, the make or break thing is utilizing the blind. As long as you have the blind, you have a layer of defense the enemy has to respect if they want to all in. If you brainlessly or mindlessly use the blind to just deal damage, you open up a possibility for the enemy, depending on the champion they play, to engage you. If that happens, then you might fall victim to them, and as it happens, and if they're able to capitalize on itemization, such as Mercury Threads, as well as having a second wind and other things, you will get outscaled anyway, which is the biggest problem in Teemo when it comes to top lane. Should we come around the corner, blind being applied, making life absolutely miserable for the Tryndamere. Tryndamere will probably survive because he has a search ability and he's for like 50 billion. And now Teemo has pretty big issues accessing. Because the issue is, Teemo is more of an assassin, as I said earlier, and he doesn't really want to play a fair fight. He doesn't want to play, like, clean. He wants to play dirty. He is like the kind of guy that's like, you do all the work, I'll just sneak up on you, I'll yoink your chicken wings, and you are gone. That's this type of guy. And you have to constantly think, if you're the enemy, where is this little rat going to be? Because if you're a squishy champion, you might just die. And if you're a carry and Teemo just looks at you, for example the Caitlyn who plays the electrocution build, the American prisoner build, then you'll get one shot by the Teemo. Unfortunately. I'd really love to see one moment where the enemy Caitlyn gets close to the Teemo. And when that happens... Okay, there's a Tryndamere, and we used the blind earlier, that's really tough. Nice dodge, but he will still die because there's nothing we can do. That's really unfortunate. Hey, let me skip this death. Let me go forward here real quick, summoners. Okay. Massive wave on the bottom side of the map, which again, this can be completely counteracted with having shrooms there, but the issue is the enemy might be on Nash if not mistaken. So he has to go there immediately. Okay, the enemy is not there. Blitzcrank gets immediately killed. They were on Nash as it seems, but took too much damage. Xin Zhao has more, really. Demacia. Just press old Lamar. No way, that just worked. Yeah, Garen being a cool champion. I love the Garen champion. Can certainly die. Okay. The next purchase, which I talked about earlier. He has Frozen Heart. Okay. Funnily enough, it might sound completely whack and crazy. Frozen Heart is not the worst item on Garen. Yes, you lose the mana, you don't care about the mana, but you gain multiple things. You gain massive attack speed reduction for all the enemies around you that are hitting you, they will hit you, by the way, as well as ability haste. Ability haste for Garen immediately translates into having more second abilities, which means even more damage reduction. So the effective health of the Garen probably goes up by a lot by having this item. However, if the enemy primarily is composed of crit champions, you might do better with Randuin's, which provides you with constant healing if you have uptime by hit. Oh no, it's tough. But again, we have a constant problem around the Nasher, getting flashed on, getting jumped on as well. Zhao knocking the Teemo away, really not planned for another. Jinx is getting resets left and right, the melee shields and heals, and the rundown commences. And these are one of the reasons why Jinx has like an ability to come back in many games. It just requires the enemy to make a few mistakes, like grouping up together against a free item Jinx when Jinx has Runans. Then we have a big problem, because these rockets do splash damage. Let's say 3 targets are close to each other. Like, oh, let's see here. Three targets are close to each other. Runans will shoot a rocket to each of them, and if they overlap, if they're like too close to each other, they will take damage from multiple rockets at the same time, which means Jinx gets an absurd damage boost. And you might get collateraled anyway because of how Runans extends your range. I think I've said so a billion times. You see, these are just auto attacks. He can't one-shot the Zyra because of Crown. So the Crown pickup, specifically against the Teemo, makes it a lot easier for the Zyra to pilot her champion against the Teemo. But we're definitely not seeing the Shroom setup, which I talked about, to basically deny the enemy's split push. For example, against Tryndamere, it's pretty helpful. You see the damage he's dealing to the Blitzcrank? He probably burns to death here. He does. Because, for example, against the Tryndamere, you can completely deny his split push by placing these Shrooms everywhere on one line where, one lane where he's going to be, because if the minions die, the Tryndamere can't push. So you relieve a lot of pressure from, for example, the Garen. He will probably, yeah, he will die. He just got absolutely demolished by that guy. That's tough. Playing the little trap mo. Where you gonna be? Royal would love this, but Royal would also go Magi's. Shout out to Royal. Check out his channel. The one last bastion of WildRift. Well, not really true. Not the last one. I think Broken Support was the most active one out of all of us. Surviving and keeping up the grind. He's a good man. Give him a sub, or I'll give you a clap in-game. Zyra has no crown. Zyra will die. Oh, she nearly dies. Look at the point. Yeah. The poison. Because Teemo's poison can crit with Infinity Orb, but Leandris can't. Imagine Leandris could also crit. That'd be a little bit funky. Oh, a little bit funky on top. Look at the sudden impact value. 633. Nearly the value of a complete keystone. Magic Pen is broken, guys, if your champion can constantly utilize it, and you have good items that, well, synergize with all of that one as well. Xin Zhao is a little bit too tanky, and this is through more, by the way. This was through more in a burst rotation. I think it's not really that bad of damage. If you look at the, for example, Caitlyn would instantly die. Oh, the Yeeter! We have the Yeeter. Is Cristiano Ronaldo escaping? Yep, he's running. Somehow he didn't die. That's a little bit concerning. Caitlyn. I sadly can't really reach Caitlyn. Oh my god, Teemo with Elder. It's like Morgana with Elder. It's absolutely terminal. Meanwhile, Garen is on the Elder. Tryndamere now pushing the bottom side. We will probably get a free kill onto the Caitlyn. Flash on and goodbye. She dies, right? Yeah. Damage over time, magical damage champions, as well as having no magic resist into them, is just a death sentence. I think Teemo auto attacks, like if you like any squishy right now, they just die from one auto attack and the poison as well as the Elder. It's just too much. But yeah, Morgana is similar to this kind of fun as well. I mean, Zyra is also omega fun having Elder and such, because it really burns you to death. It's really a little bit overtuned, one might say. Just a tiny bit, you know? Tiny wee. Okay. Still have Elder, have Baron, like this must be the game deciding push. But they're always playing ARAM. Why can't we just run in from a side sometime, play proper macro, deny the Tryndamere any chance of winning the game, and then win for free? No, we must play ARAM, we must play, just run it down, mi mundo, me go where me please. It's low-key annoying, but sometimes I do understand, because ARAM is the safest option. Look at him nearly dying from this. Yeah, it's crazy. Look at the Caitlyn, rebuilding the wall of Berlin with traps. I'm from Germany, I'm allowed to say this. You don't. Look at this Teemo, this little rat. I'll find the AD carry. One auto tag. And his team ends, yeah. And that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Come back for more, check out that channel description below, and we see each other tomorrow. Bye bye.